Alright, man. Peace to the 12. This video is going to be titled, I don't know, Godzilla is in the Bible. Yes, I said it. Godzilla is in the Bible. Anyway, let's get straight to it. We're going to prove that, alright? So this guy, the famous beast, probably the most famous monster of all time, he's actually mentioned and spoken of in scriptures, alright? And the book you have to go to is the book of Job. And you have to go to the 41st chapter. All right, Job chapter 41. And what I'm going to do is, this ain't going to be too long of a video. I had a brother ask me to do this video, so I'm going to do it. And we're going to go through the characteristics of Godzilla according to the Bible. All right, and his name in the Bible is Leviathan. All right, so let's start it up. All right, I'm going to go through this whole chapter. Verse 1. Canst thou draw out Leviathan with an hook, or his tongue with a cord, which thou lettest down? All right, the answer is obviously no. But for those of you that are familiar with the 1998 Godzilla version of the movie, there was a scene in that movie where there was a fisherman who threw a reel in the water. Y'all can look it up. I believe it's on YouTube. The scene is called Godzilla Rises scene, and it'll be or something like that. Y'all can look it up. Anyway, it's this fisherman that you guys can kind of see right here, and he's fishing, and he gets a bite, and it turns out to be Godzilla. And it's safe to say he could not reel him in, man. Obviously, all right. Canst thou put a hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn? And no, you can't. Will he make any supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? Basically saying, will he have mercy on thee? All right. Will he make a covenant with thee? Wilt thou take him for a servant forever? Wilt thou play with him as with a bird? Or wilt thou bind him for thy maidens? Because a lot of people, they capture like lions and tigers and all these other type of exotic animals, and they show it to their wives and their children and stuff, and they say, look what I've done, look what I conquered. Well, it's not going to be the same with Leviathan. But anyway, let's, reading on. Shall the companions make a banquet of him? Shall they part him among the merchants? Canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? All right. Lay thine hand upon him. Remember the battle. Do no more. All right. Now what? Now here we go. All right. It says. Let me go back to verse 7. Can thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? No, man. As you all know, Godzilla, he just brushed that shit off, man, like it don't do no damage. He's taking off the missiles. So a spear ain't gonna do nothing. All right. And by the way, I had a brother, a while back. He tried to tell me that, nah, brother, it's talking about a dragon. Well, first of all, brother, the dragon is mentioned in the Bible multiple times, the word dragon. All right. So why didn't they use the word dragon when they were speaking about Leviathan? Because it's something entirely different. Okay, that's number one. A dragon is just a giant land serpent. That's where you get the term what? Komodo dragon, which is a dragon because it is the largest lizard, the largest land lizard. All right, but anyway, back to this. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him? And the picture that comes to mind is, they're scared as hell of him, man. Y'all know this famous Godzilla, motherfucker, scared as hell, scary. But this how they look. All right, so that go to the scripture. Back to the scripture. What? Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him? And that's how they look when they seen Godzilla, man. Godzilla. Anyways, man, let's get. That's how they look, man. They shook. Anyway, let's keep good. Let's go. Keep going. None is so fierce that dare stir him up. Who then is able to stand before him? All right. And you see, none of them was. For those of you who remember this scene, he was unconscious, and none of them walked up and tried to wake him up, man. They were scared as hell. Who hath prevented me that I should repay him? Whatsoever is under the whole heaven is mine. I will not conceal his parts, nor his power, nor his comely proportion. All right, and he has many powers, of course. You know, and there goes his full proportion, his power. You know, what he looks like. All right, now let's read on. Reading on, man. I'll read it again. I will not conceal his parts, nor his power, nor his comely proportion. Who can discover the face of his garment, or who can come to him with his double bridle? Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about. All right, let's look at Godzilla's teeth, man. Look at his teeth, man. His teeth are terrible. You know, there's more pictures right here. There's pictures right here. All right. I'm a little ill right now, so that's why I'm kind of scatterbrained in conversation. But bear with me. His scales are his pride, shut up together as with a closed seal. All right, let's look at his scales, man. Now, hopefully, this is making you guys understand that this is this is what it's talking about. See if I can find what I'm looking for. Give me 1 second, man. One second. That's not it. Well, you can kind of see his scales right there. But that ain't what I wanted. Yeah, look at that. The scales right there. I actually had an action figure kind of like this when I was a little boy. And it looks something like that. And as you can see, his scales, that's what his scales look like, going back to the scripture, man. His scales are his pride, shut up together as with a close seal. One is so near to the other that no air can come between them. All right? That no man can come between them. You know, and that's how it is. Look how close together his scales are, man. So Godzilla was definitely based on this Leviathan, which is nothing new. Because if you guys been listening to me for a while, you know that once I did a Mass Effect video, a Django video, you know, I did a Dangerous Still video, but they blocked it, so I'm gonna have to find a way to you know, re-upload that to where y'all can view it. But clearly, they based all these damn Hollywood movies, I should say these super blockbuster movies, off of the Bible, as well as video games and comic books and all that. Why? Because the Bible is true, man. It's truth. All right. But anyway, one is so near to the other that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another. They stick together that they cannot be sundered. We already went over that. We looked at the scales. By his neesings a light doth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. All right, so look at this. I'll read that one once again. By his neesings a light doth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. Okay, so let's go back to... Look at that. These are the eyes of Godzilla right there. Look at that. Like the eyes of the morning. All right. Out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out. And of course, no brainer. You know, out of his mouth, fire come out, man. Look at that. I mean, that's obvious. That's what it's most known for. You see all these different images. Like a lamp. Out of his nostrils goeth smoke, as out of a seething pot or cauldron. All right. Let's get that too. Because smoke come out of him too. As you can see, look at that. That smoke coming out the mouth of Godzilla right there. And then there's multiple other little clips. And a matter of fact, if you guys watch the, what's it called? I think it's called Godzilla Monster Island. It's an old one. Godzilla's son actually breathed smoke rings, so that's more on that. All right, so out of his nostrils goeth smoke as if a seething pot of a cauldron. His breath kindleth clothes as a flame goeth out of his mouth. We already covered that, but I'll get it again. Why not? You know, that's what come out of his mouth. Flames. In his neck remaineth strength, and sorrow is turned into joy before him. All right, let's get something on that. Look at the neck. Look at the neck of Godzilla, man. thick neck. All right, going back to the scripture. Verse 22, and his neck remained in strength, and his sorrow was turned into joy before him. The flakes of his flesh are joined together. They are firm in themselves. They cannot be moved. We already went over that. You know, the flakes of his flesh. Let's see if we can get it again. You see that? They cannot be moved. You know. Anyway, his heart is as firm as stone. Yeah, as hard as a piece of the nether millstone. All right, when he raiseth up himself, the mighty are afraid by reason of breakings. They purify themselves. All right, so when he rises up, they get scary, man. You know what I'm saying? They get terrified. And that's how they look. That's the look they got on their face when they see him, man. Anyway, reading on. The sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold the spear, the dart, nor the harbigion. You know, which I'm thinking that's like a harpoon. You know, and that's how it is. You know, we already sent that, but you guys are familiar with the show. You know that the jets and the tanks and that shit ain't do nothing against Godzilla, man. All right, he esteemeth iron as straw and brass as rotten wood. Let's get that. Look at that, man. That's what he do to these buildings, man. He bend iron like it's nothing. You know, even on this one right here, check it out. I was gonna kind of touch on this at the end, but I'll get a little preview. He said, you know, he bend metal like it's nothing. Well, look, he did it right there. Metal manipulation. Look at that. So it's clear who they based Godzilla off of, man. But anyway, the arrow cannot make him flee. Sling stones are turned with him into stubble. All right. Going back, see, the arrow don't make him flee. A missile ain't doing nothing, man. For those of you who don't know, all a missile is a projectile. All right, so they had medieval missiles as well. All right. You know. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can get the definition of missile. Give me 1 second. Let's see if I can get the definition. Yep, right here. An object which is forcefully propelled at a target either by hand or from a mechanical weapon. All right, so a missile doesn't have to be a nuke like of today. It can be an arrow. All right, so when the scriptures speak of an arrow, it can also mean a missile. All right. The arrow cannot make him flee. Sling stones will turn with him into stubble. Right? All right, so going back to the scriptures. Darts are counted as stubble. He laughed at the shaking of a spear. Yeah, we already went over that. Sharp stones are under him. He spread sharp pointed things upon the mire. What is that? All right, what are we talking about? That could be talking about his spikes. Or sharp things are under him, meaning his feet. So let's look at his feet real quick, man. Look at Godzilla's feet, man. Sharp stones are under him. Got them long ass nails, man. As you can see. Or claws, really. He maketh the deep boil like a pot. He maketh the sea like a pot of ointment. See if this saved. All right, this is dealing with Godzilla in the water. Somebody asked if Godzilla could breathe fire in the water. And it says, going into what it would look like underwater, I would think it's going to look very much the same. The thing is, because it's underwater, the heat released from the beam and his spikes would instantly boil the water around them. Okay, so there you go right there. That goes to this scripture. Back to this scripture. He maketh the deep to boil like a pot. He maketh the sea like a pot of ointment. All right. By the way, this lets you know that he comes from where? The water. All right. He maketh a path to shine after him. One would think the deep to be hoary. All right. And there's him shining path. He glows, man. All right. Upon the earth there is not his like, who is made without fear. All right. So he's so the Most High made him to be different from every other creature, man. All right. He beholdeth all high things. He is king over all the children of pride. All right. And look at this. Godzilla, what? King of the monsters, as you can see. All right. So, man, like I said, this one going to be too long. Let's go through the powers real quick. I'm gonna close out. All right, so we had atomic breath, flight, metal manipulation, regeneration, nuclear pulse, spiral heat ray, atomic rays. He can transform his body. There's probably a lot else. You guys kind of look that up on your own. All right, I just wanted to show you that the Leviathan and Godzilla are one and the same, really. And that's where Godzilla was inspired by the Leviathan mentioned in the scriptures. You know, they just keep taking from the scriptures, man. And with that, I'm going to say peace to the 12. And I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh in the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. All right, I'm gone.